Now, everyone, fasten your seatbelt. If I said Brock Purdy is the weak link of the 49ers, is that ridiculous?
Come on now. See, now we're crossing into that realm of I got to blame somebody. I got to put somebody down. I got to talk crap about somebody. The guy was having a historic season. Historic season.
Yep.
Okay, he is as efficient as they come. Ask Kyle Shanahan whether or not he thinks that he's the weak link of his football team. You can point to a number of different players. How about the right side of their offensive line? Keep an eye on that position group this Sunday when they go against Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah. Keep an eye on Colton McKevitz when he's lined up against Aiden Hutchinson one-on-one, if you want to find a weak link. Ooh. Okay, Brock Purdy, come on now. Come on. He's not the weak link.
What is the end of that sentence, though? Because what exactly is he? The last few weeks, he has crashed back to earth at least a little bit. The game against Baltimore, the game against Green Bay, he did not look the way he had looked much of the season.
You know, there are great quarterbacks in this league who have had spurts where you sit there and you go, what's wrong with these guys? Patrick Mahomes has had moments, and I'm not comparing Patrick Mahomes to Brock Purdy, where we sat there and we looked at Patrick and we're going, is he broken? People use those phrases, right? Patrick Mahomes is broken. Patrick Mahomes isn't as good as he was anymore. Patrick Mahomes can't be good without Tyreek Hill, et cetera, et cetera. Guys go through highs and lows. Baltimore had him confused. He was seeing things against Baltimore. Mike McDonald's a damn good defensive coordinator. Baltimore's going to be in the Super Bowl more than likely. Hold on. Let me go back there. Forget that part. I said that, Kansas City.
Games on Tuesday?
But I'm just going to say this. Look, Brock Purdy is one of those guys who operates this offense at a very, very high level, makes good decisions. The wet weather obviously affected him. That is an issue going forward, and it's going to continue to be an issue until he corrects that. But as far as his decision-making accuracy, the ability to make all the throws and command of the offense, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
not the weak link.
Calling him the weak link, I think there is some deciding factors there. Like, he's the link that you might want to test, but he hasn't been the weak link. He's up and down through the course. Well, he's been up most of the season, but he's down when they lose some players. So I think arguing that Brock Purdy is on the level as a Josh Allen would be foolish. He's not that guy. But he is a top tier,
physically,
in the words of Cam Newton, game manager, which has showed his ability to, in this game, he had a big comeback in the game, which is something we thought that
Can I just say this real quick?
Go.
Okay, so San Francisco is playing Cleveland, right? This is one of the games that all the people who want to bash Brock Purdy point to. Right. Well, how did he look against the Cleveland Browns? They lost that game. Do you remember that he drove them in the position to win the game?
Right, and they missed a field goal.
The kicker missed a field goal?
Yeah.
So what?
Context.
Anyone want to tell me about that contest? Like, does that matter to you? Does it matter to you that he actually played? Does that matter or not?
No, but what matters are two things, I think, for the purposes of the way people view him. One, that he sort of got plugged into what we perceive to be the best coached offense in the league with unbelievable talent that we saw Jimmy Garoppolo take to a Super Bowl. And two, the fact that he was the last pick in the entire draft. People just don't lose that bias.
They refuse to let it go.
Reason.
They refuse.
So but there was a moment in time not that long ago when he was the leading candidate for MVP in the league. He had the shortest betting odds for MVP of the league.
This is the thing that frustrates people, right? And I know RC said it as well, right? It frustrates him that he has to have this conversation that Brock Purdy was in the MVP conversation.
Should he not have been?
He absolutely should have been. He was I asked Himbo, hey, Himbo, send me some stats. He's like, just say first in everything. Because that's what Purdy was for the majority of the season. First, you can blame the situation he fell into. You can blame the players he is. You can account all of that. But here's the deal. You still have to go out and execute. Right. You still got to go do your part. I know for a long time he threw the most tight window passes in the NFL with the highest completion rate during that. All of those things matter. You still have to do your part. Because you're surrounded with talent doesn't mean the most talented team doesn't always win. So it's a slight at Purdy because he it
is a slight at Purdy, and I think that it's unfair in some contexts, but just looking at the stats, anybody can look at the stats. I think that when we have a hard time is putting Purdy in these conversations is when you watch the games of certain players. They have a different impact on the game. I think
for sure.
Josh Allen comes up, Mahomes, obviously, Lamar Jackson. So when you're talking about an MVP solely based on stats, any fool on the street can look at
hold on. See, earlier in this show, we're arguing down Josh Allen because he doesn't win.
That's exactly win.
But when Brock Purdy wins, it's like, well, you know what? So he doesn't quite give me the same kind of feelings that these other guys do because he's not the same athlete. See, we moved the goalpost on the dude.
It's not about feelings and it's not about moving the goalpost.
Yes, it is.
It is.
But I also think it's important to consider like the situation in this respect. When you're putting together a team, isn't one of the important questions to ask, who is this guy for us?
Of course it
like,
is.
not just, I'm not going to plug any quarterback in here. I need a certain kind of player here.
Right.
And for Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy has been that kind of player. He doesn't need to throw the ball 60 yards on the line
Brock
like Josh
Purdy
Allen.
right now, if I'm Brock Purdy and I'm sitting here watching this show or I'm watching any show, I'm sitting there going, 1 minute they're saying all they care about with quarterbacks is winning, but I win and people go, come on,
Lou. That's not
but it
what
is
we're
true.
saying. That's not
It is
what
because
we're
you said it's
saying.
about
That's not
stats.
what
You're
I'm
saying you're using stats
No.
to justify. It was stats and wins.
Okay, I'm not. If Brock Purdy would have continued the season, they beat the Ravens, and he goes on to win the Super Bowl. Goes on to win the MVP. I'm not going to knock him for winning the MVP.
Right.
But what I am going to say to you is that it's different. It's not trying to say that he's not good. Saying that his impact on the game is definitely different than somebody like Lamar's. And I'm not. I don't mean
That's a
as
different
negative.
conversation.
They
That's a
tried.
different conversation.
Look, they
That's a
tried.
different conversation.
They drafted Trey Lance, traded up to take Trey Lance with a completely different skill set.
It didn't
And for
work.
whatever reason, it didn't wind up working out.
I'm still salty about
If
it.
Josh Allen was the quarterback of the 49ers, they would never lose a game again.